It's GT500 day. You know, I tell you, man, I swear this guy lowered the suspension on this car. I mean, I think I'm totally wrong, but I don't know, man. This car sits so low to the ground now. I mean, I just guess I don't remember that. I mean, when you're away from your car for from June, July, August, like 3 months. But oh my gosh, I mean, still. A fun car. Welcome back to Ice Age TV, internal combustion engine TV. Wow, you know, even for myself, I can second guess myself. But wow, I think I just don't think I need to second guess myself on this car. You know, here I bought it back. I mean, nice vehicles. I mean, you're talking to a guy that had a Jaguar F-Type with the V8, you know, 500 plus horsepower supercharged convertible, you know, all-wheel drive. That was a 2017, I think. That was a really cool car. Had all that burping exhaust and all. And then, you know, you think about the Hellcats. I've owned 4 Hellcats. So, I mean, and you're talking the most recent, you know, most powerful step down from a demon, the Red Eye Hellcat Challenger. Wide body, 797 horsepower, 2019. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I mean, you telling me you think that this GT500 is more fun than that Challenger wide body? And keep in mind, that Challenger wide body is a badass looking vehicle. I mean, that is a very nice vehicle. But it just doesn't have the same character that this GT500 has. And the GT500 truly gives you a sports car, racetrack ready, you know, feel. Now, you hearing that? Did you just see that? Okay. Now, the Hellcat ain't going to do that. You know, that's something where I think Dodge missed it. And I'm sure some, you know, Dodge, you know, lovers will be sitting here going, oh man, he's wrong, blah, blah. Yeah. And okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I owned the vehicles and I drove the vehicles and I drove the vehicles back to back. And you do not get that rev matching downshifting out of, listen to this. I mean, you do not get that rev matching out of that Hellcat. Or that transmission, or like that is noticeable, that gurgle pop exhaust. So, you know, here we are. It's probably for some of you watching my videos, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy just continues to ramble on about it. So, you know, following up on my conversation here about this GT500 and saying even to myself, you know, do you second guess yourself when you make a purchase on something? And, you know, it's, yeah, I mean, I think anybody that's kind of a normal person would be like, yeah, are you sure about buying that same car back again? I mean, are you serious? You're going to go back and actually you're going to pay a little bit more money for a car that you owned. And wouldn't you just wait and buy another one? And you know, yeah, I mean, for the average person, I think they'd say, yes, I'm not going to buy back, or I should say, no, I'm not going to buy back my vehicle I used to own. And in my circumstances, this is just a very unique car for me because of the production date on my mother's birthday. And then me buying it on my, basically for me on my birthday, and then it being a pre-pandemic vehicle that was production 712, and for those that don't, know the whole story, and here's just a little bit of info. I placed an order of September of 2019 for a 2020 GT500, and by December, I was figuring by November I would get a VIN, production date. Nope. December, nope. January, nope. February, nope. And so now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. I mean, here I put an order in, and I'm getting no build date on my GT500. And then I'm down at the local Ford dealer picking up I believe it was the Ford Tremor. I believe that was what got me this vehicle, or it might have been my Explorer S. Can't remember exactly, but I was just happened to be down at the Ford dealer, and as I'm, finishing up a transaction, one of the purchases down there, I just happened to see everybody gathering around, the side of the building of the dealership, and even the GMs come over going, hey, we just got our first GT500 delivered. And I'm like, wow, I want to go check that thing out. So I walk out, and sure enough, this car is sitting there, and I'm like, wow, that's just a badass car. And I'm thinking, damn, somebody's damn lucky getting that car. So I just kind of had the assumption that this car was pre-ordered by somebody, and somebody was buying it. And I don't know, a little time went by, and for some reason I feel like I went home that night, and then when I went back the next day to finish up the paperwork on one of my purchases, I noticed the vehicle was still at the lot, and I looked at the GM or whoever was standing around, and I said, that vehicle's still here? And they're like, yeah, it's for sale. And I'm like, that car's for sale? I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me that yesterday? And like, well, I don't know. I was like, well, damn, I'd like to buy that thing. So I was just like, wow, what's the odds of that? Here's another thing where, you look at life, and some things happen in your life, and you just scratch your head like, wow, was that just meant to be or what? Because, for those non-GT500 addicts, you just have no idea on how hard it was to get a GT500. And on top of that, if you found one, you'd pay ridiculous monies to be able to get it with ADM. So, that's why this car, kind of going back to second guessing myself. Yeah, I think I would be foolish to be thinking I should second guess myself, being that this vehicle is, you have to really say through these conversations that I have that it was kind of meant to be my car. And unfortunately, due to pandemic experiences that I had with my company and business, I had severe losses of revenues and monies, and I really was kind of at the point, after 16 months of my business being hugely impacted by this pandemic, I really started to feel like, well, I'm just going to have to start making financial decisions for the future, because the economy for my business didn't come back, and I just came to closure in June of this past year that it's just time to move on and let things go. And I'm the believer that things will come back, and I can just buy another one down the road if the economy corrects itself and the pandemic gets under control. So, and now you kind of know more of the story of what happened with this car is, this was a financial pandemic related challenge for me. And then what's crazy is in late July and August, my business came back substantially. And so that's why I'm back in the car all by accident, meaning that, when I let this car go, I truly felt like I'd never see this car again. And I accepted that. I knew it was like, okay, it was my decision to let it go, and I'd probably never see her again. But then to find out that she's available again, oh my gosh. And I'll finish up that story in a moment. All right, back to the conversation about me being reunited with my 2020 GT500. So reason I'm talking about this is here a few weeks back, I was on the forum and I got a personal message from another forum member asking for input on his father. You know, he was saying to me, hey, I'm thinking about my father. He's interested in possibly a Super Snake or the GT500. So this forum member sent me a personal message inquiring which I thought would be the better fit for his father, or what would be the better investment, and, you know, who is a Super Snake dealer. And for those out there that, so I was, you know, reaching out to him and just telling him, hey, you know, I don't think you can really go bad either way. You know, you're going to pay a lot of money for that Super Snake. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the GT500 is the better investment long term, because it's just, I think, going to be a more sought after vehicle. But at the same time, the Super Snake will be as well. So, in all fairness to anybody watching this, I would not call out one or the other better at the end of the day than the other, because they're both incredible cars. And the Super Snake advantage is you can get a manual transmission. You know, you can't get the manual transmission in the GT500, which a lot of people don't like that. And I'm with them on that. They really should have a manual transmission capability. So, lengthy conversation there. But what that did, this forum member got me, you know, on my own. I just made the thought that, hey, let me help this guy out, and I'll direct him to the right dealership, because not any Ford dealership can be a Shelby Super Snake distributor. You know, there's only select few that actually get the rights to sell that product. So I go to my favorite selling dealership, and I go to their website to see if they have any Super Snakes, where I can link this guy to check out their dealer's inventory. And when I go to that website, I click on, you know, GT500. They show two GT500s, and they say, in a Super Snake. And so I click on that inventory, and oh my gosh, there's this car. There's my former car that I owned sitting at the dealership up for sale used. And I'm like, what? Holy crow. I can't believe it. I'm like, no way. And this is late in the evening, so now I'm like, holy crap. I really want to find out what's going on. Why did the guy buy my car? Why did he buy my car and turn it back in? You know, was there a problem with it? Did he not like it? But also, you know, I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, do I buy back the my GT500? And I'm thinking, that's crazy. I'm thinking, oh my God. I mean, I was really on the page that I let this car go, and that's fine. I let it go, and I'll just order a GT500 2021 or 2022 model. I'll just, you know, wait it out till next year, and I'll just do that, and that's fine. But at the same time, I'm like, wow. So, you know, going back to, you know, how things play out in life, you have to wonder. I mean, what's the odds of a forum member reaching out to me personally when I'm not even an owner of the GT500 product anymore, and I really didn't even hang out in the GT500 forum anymore, because, you know, wow, yeah, I'm excited to go to the GT500 forum, I mean, I no longer have one, and yeah, I hear everybody talking about their, you know, their love and passion for their GT500 and all the other conversations. So you know, there is just another, you know, crazy thing. And, you know, and I make different videos here lately, and it's all about prayer. How do you pray? And so that can be another story another day. So just to kind of give everybody a little clearer picture of why I have this car back. Well, you have to wonder, right? What's the odds of me being, you know, a personal message and me then seeing my cars back at the dealership? Because he had not done that, and this car had been at the dealership, and it probably would have resold again to somebody else, and I never even known the car came back to the dealership.